Alright, homies, happy Friday. I'm going to get right to the point in this one, kind of touch the few important things I want to touch on, because I'm exhausted. Did an hour and a half in the options room earlier, did a good 45 minutes in my mastery, did an hour in the training room. Then a guy's got to do some watch list building. So, almost 8 o'clock on my end, ready to relax here for a bit. But crazy market. The sun came up again today, so we hit another brand new all-time high. Yeah, we're extended. And yeah, we're due for a dip to the 8 EMA, to the 21 EMA. To the 21 EMA would be solid. I don't know if we get that. But the thought process for me is this trend continues into December, January. And I'm sure there's going to be some flushes along the way. But that's the mindset for me. This uptrend across the board continues into December, January, maybe a little bit more. So that's the mindset, and the goal is to pick my spots wisely and intelligently start to build positions in some of the stronger trends in the market. The difficulty in certain spots is the obvious issue here. Certain things are a bit too extended. So, I mean, yeah, I'd love to build a big swing position in Tesla. Like, what the hell am I going to do up here? What's this got to be, like 6, 7 ATR above the 21? So as much as I'd like to be long Tesla, the only thing I can do here is find a 30-minute squeeze and take a small little swing into next week, that kind of thing. So I'd love a dip there, but then I look at, say, an Apple. And this is something I want to build a good 10 or so % position size in for December expiration. So look at the weekly chart, perfect weekly squeeze. And I think just keep it simple for yourself as a trader. Respect the trend, have the assumption the trend continues until the structure just completely gets bombed out. Meaning when Apple goes into a weekly squeeze over here, just start to build a position. And with a weekly squeeze, if you're trading above -1 ATR, everything is still intact here. So you look at the move that brought you into that squeeze, they tend to fire in the same direction. So I say we look at this weekly squeeze no different. Would like a bit of a dip, but great squeeze there, good structure, good Momo. Good Momo for your mama. 3-day squeeze here, also rock solid. And unlike Tesla, it's not really all that far off from the daily 21 EMA. And I think you can work an entry here at the 8 EMA. I think early next week, watch the 4-hour / 195-minute squeeze. Now, selfishly, I'd like a dip. But if the 4-hour squeeze continues to look pretty solid here, you might start to nibble at a position there. Now, what I'm probably going to end up doing is something like, excuse me, December expiration 150 strike put credit spread is kind of like my initial entry here. And then if we do happen to dip and go into a daily squeeze, I mean, imagine that. Imagine a 4-hour daily, 3-day, weekly squeeze on Apple. Imagine? That'd be solid as hell. But the first position here is probably going to be a put credit spread. And if I got a dip at some point to the 21, and then a daily squeeze, probably something like a 150, 160 call debit spread. But the major thing I'm taking into consideration right now is, yeah, Apple looks great. If the QQQ pulls back to the 21 EMA, down goes Apple. So I like the structure here, and again, I'm thinking out into December. So I'm trying to trying to build positions now that are going to pay me in December and January. Some Christmas, Valentine's Day money. So I'm going to nibble at it here. But with the market so extended, I kind of have to have, the mentality, yeah, Apple might come in a bit. I'm going to have to sit through that. And if it comes in a little bit, that doesn't really change anything about where I think it's going over the next 6 to 8 weeks. But with the market so extended, I'm not going to take a big position here right away. That requires that Apple's, rip into the upside immediately. It's going to have a tough time doing that if the market does pull back. But generally speaking, I think this weekly squeeze works as advertised, like the previous ones that preceded it. And I'm looking to build a position there. Another spot is Netflix. And we started nibbling on Netflix today. So again, just keep things simple for yourself. If the uptrend in the market is going to continue, then the uptrend for some of the strongest stocks out there is probably going to continue as well. So when you get these flushes, like you got here today in a Netflix, everyone who bought up here is really feeling some pain. Everyone who's been patient is saying, hey, let me start scaling into a position. And that's what we did here today. And I think you scale into a position all the way down to your daily 50-period simple moving average. And that might, for a newer trader, seem like a big flush. It's 1-2 average true range moves to the downside. Not that big of a flush, realistically. But I think it's still very much within the structure of this good daily push here. So a little bit of context, you fired the weekly squeeze back here. Netflix had been basing for so long. So as we start to judge Netflix on any pullback, have the understanding you broke a base. You're in trend mode now, right? You're not in this chop crap. You're back into trend mode. So in trend mode, a dip to your weekly 8 EMA, and in the event you flush here, a dip to your daily 50 SMA. That's all normal action within a good solid trend. So if you're going out to December expiration, I think you start to, I think you nibble here. But position size, choose expirations, and option strategies based on the mindset that if the market comes in, down goes Netflix. So in the options room today, we took about a third of the full position ultimately we want to get, and we sold the December expiration put credit spread with short strikes at 650. And we're going to look to add even if we continue to flush here. And then in my mastery, we got same expiration, but our short puts and our spread are down here at 620 at the 50-period simple moving average. I would love to add on that flush. So we're building positions here. We're scaling into bigger sizes. So taking about a third or a quarter of the full risk we want here today. But that's it. I think tough to do that up here. Heck of a lot easier to do that down here. And if you're going out December, January, you just got a lot of wiggle room here. And I like me some wiggle room when the market's extended. So we're starting to slowly build positions here in Netflix. Very much so looking to do Apple next week. Man, ideally on a little bit of a dip. And then Google's another spot here. So I did get the options room. This was going back to last Friday. I did get the options room into a put credit spread here in Google that expired today. And the short strikes on that spread were at 29.50. So there was the initial flush to the 8 EMA here. Got picked up nicely. So here's one just a little bit beyond where I can take that really solid entry. But I want to take any dip I can get because of the structure of, good 30-minute squeeze. But because of the structure of the 3-day squeeze. So if this can work as advertised, sets you up for a really good continued push here. 3,200, that's not out of question at all with a 3-day squeeze. So I'm looking for that on a dip. And the last spot I'll share with you here, Amazon has a monthly, weekly, 3-day, daily squeeze. Same thought process. I think December, January, if the market continues its trend, Amazon does the same thing. So those are the major spots I'm looking to work entries. For the folks in the options room and my mastery, there's a few other spots out there, but I think the trend for the market continues into December, January, and I think a big part of that is going to be these FAANG stocks. So, like me some Apple, like me some Netflix, some Amazon, potentially some Google. We're in a market where every sector looks good. So would I buy Nvidia on a pullback? You better believe it. What I like about those, again, Amazon's, Apple's, Netflix, Google's, squeezes. Not so much in the case of Netflix, but Google, Amazon, Apple, got some big squeezes there. And you all know I love my squeezes. So, simple mindset. I think the trend continues, and maybe I'm dead wrong. The market put in its all-time high, and there's the top for the next year. Cocaine's a hell of a drug, though. That's what I'd say about this market. So I think the trend continues. I do not think it continues without flushes along the way, and I think they're all buying opportunities. Slowly working positions in Netflix, looking for some Apple, looking for some Google, looking for some Amazon. In terms of what I did here this week, I think there's some issues, so I really couldn't do much this week up until yesterday. Unfortunately, we did an earnings trade on Airbnb Thursday afternoon. Bought that back this morning, so decent profit there. One thing I have been doing on Tesla for just weeks on end here is, every Wednesday, Thursday, just selling credit spreads that expire the next week. Like small stuff, really small stuff. Call it dinner money. And that actually is the mindset. I'm just going deep out the money, scraping some premium. At the end of the week, if I can collect, $200, $300, $400, $500, I'll take it. Pay some bills. Take the girl to Outback. So small stuff there. Again, I really couldn't trade till Thursday. Did an earnings trade on net, and because I'm a punk, wasn't patient with that. Should have been about a $1,000 profit. But that's what a lack of patience gets you. And there's the two positions I opened in Netflix. So those are to be determined. And I did do a little potential weekly income trade. It'll be weekly income if it works. But a put credit spread on Tesla. And what I'm looking for here is just another push into the open on Monday. And then I'm looking to buy back the spread, take my profits, and move on. All small stuff here. All small stuff. Small position being a relative term, of course. So we'll see where the 30-minute squeeze takes us. But alright, y'all, I think I'm good with charts here for at least a couple of hours. So I'm going to go watch some basketball, eat some junk food, relax. But I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you all Monday. See you then.